My child, my beloved, do not take these words lightly. Something decisive is happening right now in the unseen. Archangel Michael stands beside you, his sword of truth blazing beyond human sight, and he is declaring, their case is closed. This is not loss. This is not rejection. This is a verdict that will surprise you. You are not here by accident. Heaven guided your eyes to this exact moment because the seal over your destiny has been opened on purpose. Feel the weight of this moment before you rush past it. For years, things were kept from you, answers delayed, truths hidden, doors unexplained. But Archangel Michael says, the scroll is open now. The court of heaven has ruled in your favor. What was taken is being returned. What was denied is being released. Stay here until the end, because even as you listen, movement is already happening. Understand this clearly: your prayers were never ignored. Every tear you cried in silence was recorded. Every injustice you endured was documented. And today, the gavel of heaven has struck. Archangel Michael says, you will soon hear a name, a place, a whisper you have waited for. It will arrive unexpectedly, quietly, like a message carried on the wind. What the world closed, God reopened. If this word is stirring your spirit, pause and breathe it in. Stay connected. Subscribe, because what follows is not casual encouragement, it is direction. One missed word could delay what is already moving toward you. This message is alive. It is reaching across time to meet you right where you are. You feel it, don't you? That pull in your chest. The warmth. The sudden stillness. That is the sign Michael promised. He is saying, the injustice has been overturned. What heaven declared, you will soon see with your own eyes. Do not let distraction pull you away. This is not just another message. This is alignment. Even now, hidden things are surfacing. Names are being remembered. Decisions are being reconsidered. Chains are breaking in places you cannot see. Archangel Michael says, they tried to erase your name. Lies were written. Stories were twisted. But heaven's stamp cannot be removed. You are not forgotten. Your case is closed because the higher court spoke. Stay focused, because this message has layers. Every line is pulling another thread loose. Someone influential is thinking of you right now. Someone who once turned away is searching your name. Do not be surprised when a message appears without warning. Archangel Michael says, when the call comes, answer calmly but firmly. That call will mark the end of an old chapter. Pay attention to the shifts around you. A sudden peace. A tingling sensation. A quiet clarity. These are confirmations. Angels are moving. Stay until the end, because the final truth unlocks what no human effort ever could. God says, my child, the time of silence is over. Your name has been spoken aloud in heaven. This is why you were drawn here. This is not coincidence. This is unveiling. Archangel Michael says, no signature can block what is written. Your inheritance is secure. If your heart is burning, whisper agreement within yourself. That simple act aligns you with heaven's decision. Signs will begin to appear. Numbers. Dreams. Conversations. Strangers carrying answers. Do not scroll away. Your miracle is weaving itself through these words. When you reach the end, something unseen will shift. What was buried will rise. Listen carefully now, because this truth is protected. These words were not released casually. Archangel Michael is guarding this moment, allowing it to reach only those prepared to hear it. Your case is closed, not forgotten, not abandoned, but settled by divine authority. Heaven has ruled. The decree is sealed. This is why you feel that pull inside. That quiet fire. That invisible thread drawing you closer. This word belongs to you. Archangel Michael says, they whispered accusations. Plans were made. Fingers were pointed. But all of it turned to dust before heaven's decree. You were acquitted before the battle even reached you. You may still see noise around you. Voices of doubt. Final attempts to delay. But these are only echoes of something already defeated. The real decision has been made. Heaven has spoken. Do not think this moment came randomly. Every delay, every sleepless night, every unanswered why was guiding you here. This is alignment. God knew the exact hour your spirit would be strong enough to receive this truth. That is why it reached you now. So stay. Listen. Let it settle. Within these words, the scroll has been opening piece by piece before you. And as this chapter completes, something new is already beginning to form. If you wish to express your support further, you have the option to give super thanks with contributions of up to $10. Beloved, understand this clearly, because this truth changes everything. Your case is closed because the truth they tried to bury can no longer stay underground. They pressed it down with lies, wrapped it in manipulation, and tried to disguise it with false stories, but heaven's fire burned straight through every covering. What is rising now will not only clear your name, it will leave even your enemies stunned. Words will fail them. Excuses will disappear. Silence will be their only response as truth breaks through like light tearing open a storm cloud. You have waited longer than you ever imagined for this moment. There were seasons when you quietly wondered if it would ever arrive. But hear this with certainty: the delay was never denial. The delay was preparation. And now, Archangel Michael says, the time has come. What was held back for protection is now being released for revelation. Even as these words reach you, movement has already begun around you. Names are being stirred in places you cannot see. People who forgot you are suddenly remembering. Thoughts of you are resurfacing without warning. Do not be surprised when a message appears unexpectedly, a call comes through, or a familiar face re-enters your path. This is not coincidence. It is evidence that what was decided in heaven is now unfolding on earth. Understand this carefully so you do not misread the moment. What you are seeing in the natural is only the echo. The real decision was made in the spirit first. That is why you are hearing this now. Timing matters. And here is the urgency, beloved. The enemy knows his time is short. He knows the verdict has already been declared in your favor. That is why he will try harder than ever to distract you, discourage you, and pull your attention away from the truth you are receiving. Do not let go of this word. Cling to it like a lifeline, because it is pulling you forward, not backward. Heaven says, hold on. The waters may rise, but you will not sink. Archangel Michael says, stand firm, child, for your sword is truth, and truth has already cut the cords of your bondage. What once bound you no longer has authority. If these words feel uncomfortably personal, that is not by accident. If it feels like they are being spoken directly into your private thoughts, do not dismiss that sensation. Stay connected. Seal this word in your spirit so you do not miss the next divine alert. Heaven is releasing instructions in this season that function like keys. Miss a key, and you walk in circles. Receive it, and the door opens beside you. You must also know this, because it brings deep healing. Not a single tear you cried was wasted. Every tear that fell in the darkness was seen and collected. Scripture says God stores your tears, and that record has now been presented as evidence in the courts of heaven. That is why your case is closed. The evidence was examined. Judgment was rendered. And heaven ruled in your favor. Hear this verdict clearly. You are not guilty. You are not abandoned. You are not forgotten. You are chosen. And now, you are free. Beloved, Archangel Michael leans close and speaks with weight. Though you cannot see him, you can feel the gravity of his presence pressing into your spirit. He says, the case is closed because the truth is revealed, and no human hand can shut what heaven has opened. For too long, you lived under accusation, misunderstanding, and betrayal. But in the unseen realm, documents have been signed, seals have been broken, and the lies spoken over you have been overturned. Do not misinterpret the silence you are noticing now. Some people are quiet not because they won, but because their words have been cut down. Silence is proof that their accusations no longer stand. They cannot argue against what God has released into the atmosphere. Even now, walls of deception are collapsing, just like Jericho's walls fell at the sound of the trumpet. Understand this deeply, beloved. When God closes a case, He does more than erase accusations. He rewrites destiny. The same ink once used to mark you guilty is now being transformed into a signature of blessing. Archangel Michael wants you to hear this clearly. Your past pain is not wasted. It has become proof of your calling. Those chains they thought would imprison you are now trophies. They testify to your endurance. You are not a victim. You are evidence. Living proof of what heaven can do when a child refuses to give up, even when the night is long and the storm relentless. This is why you were drawn here. This word is meant to revive you, steady you, and prepare you, because your next chapter is already opening. Pay attention to the peace settling inside you right now. Lies never bring peace. Deception always leaves bitterness behind. But when heaven speaks, even sharp truth leaves a holy calm and an unshakable knowing. That calm is your confirmation. And God says, "My child, I am not a man that I should lie. If I declare your freedom, then you are free indeed." You may still be waiting for the phone call, the letter, or the open door, but understand this: those are only ripples. The decision has already been made in heaven, and what heaven decides cannot be reversed on earth. The case is closed, and that truth must become your anchor, not just your comfort. It is finished. You are free. But Archangel Michael warns that freedom attracts deception before it attracts peace. In the days ahead, distractions will arrive wearing the mask of opportunity. Doors will appear open that quietly lead back into old bondage. Voices will sound kind while carrying poison underneath. Do not be fooled. Desperation makes the enemy imitate light. This is why you must keep this word before you like a lamp in the dark. Heaven has closed the case, and you must not reopen it by stepping into familiar traps. Walk with discernment, not excitement alone. Ask yourself one question before every step: does this bring peace, or does it stir confusion? The Spirit of God does not operate in chaos. Truth carries clarity. What pulls you back into anxiety is not sent to advance you. What rushes you without peace is not meant to guide you. Stay anchored. Your freedom is too valuable to gamble. Now listen carefully, because this goes deeper than vindication. The truth coming into the open will not only clear your name, it will expose those who tried to destroy you. And hear this clearly: their downfall will not come by your hand. Vengeance is not your assignment. God Himself is your defender. This is why Archangel Michael has drawn his sword, not for you to strike, but to dismantle the false structures built against you. The shock will belong to them as much as it belongs to you. What they hid will be laid bare. What they denied will be revealed. There will be no escape from truth when heaven shines its light. Some will repent. Others will flee. But no one will be able to deny what God exposes. And you will stand in the center of it, not gloating, not bitter, but redeemed. Your calling is not to celebrate their fall, but to shine as evidence of heaven's mercy. Pause and let this settle into your spirit. Those years you thought were wasted were never ignored. Those tears you cried when no one listened were never lost. Those prayers whispered into silence were never unanswered. They were gathered. They became evidence. In earthly courts, evidence is used to condemn. In heaven's court, your tears prove your faith. Your waiting proves your endurance. Your broken prayers prove you were chosen. This is why your case is closed. Not because you were perfect. Not because you were strong every day. But because you did not quit when quitting felt justified. That perseverance is the mark of the chosen. Archangel Michael says, your inheritance is being delivered. Do not panic when sudden change sweeps through your life. Do not fear when certain people begin to drift away. Some must leave because their presence would contaminate your blessing. Some are removed because they were never meant to taste what belongs to you. Do not cling to what God is cutting away. A closed case means you are stepping into new ground, and the old cannot follow. Release it without regret. Trust Him without negotiation. What is coming will fill your hands so completely that you will look back and wonder why you ever begged for scraps. What God gives next will not require apology. Mark this carefully, because heaven is precise. The evidence of your closed case will come in threes. 3 signs. 3 confirmations. 3 unmistakable witnesses. It may appear as repeating numbers, echoing dreams, or messages from unexpected sources. Do not dismiss them as coincidence. They are the divine seal. When the 3rd sign appears, know this: the chapter is sealed. The door is locked. The enemy has no key. Your future has already begun. If these words feel alive inside you, do not disconnect. If your heart is pounding and your spirit feels alert, stay anchored here. Subscribe and remain aligned, because what heaven is releasing in this season comes in waves. One word opens the door. The next unlocks the chamber. The next reveals the treasure. Missing one wave delays momentum. Now hear this final truth for this moment. The case is closed, but the story is not finished. What they thought would end you has only written the introduction to the chapter that will define you. The stage they built to shame you will become the platform of your testimony. What was meant as a curse will become the blessing that feeds generations after you. Stand tall, beloved. Dry your tears. Square your shoulders. Heaven's gavel has fallen. Your case is closed. Step into the freedom already granted and prepare for the miracle already moving toward you. My beloved child, you walked through valleys so dark even your own shadow could not follow. You questioned whether heaven heard you, whether angels truly guarded you, whether your prayers dissolved into nothing. But hear this now: none of it was wasted. Every silent night was recorded. Every trembling word was written. Every moment of despair became evidence before the throne. That is why Archangel Michael now declares with fire, the case is closed. Not because life suddenly became fair. Not because enemies withdrew. But because the judge of all judges leaned forward, examined your record, and declared you free. Your name has been cleared in the unseen, and that verdict is about to echo loudly in the natural world. Even those who once doubted you will have no choice but to watch the truth rise like a sunrise they cannot block with their hands. What is unfolding now cannot be stopped, delayed, or redirected. And here is what you must understand: child, closure in heaven does not look like closure on earth. When people close cases, they bury them. They forget them. They hide them in dusty archives and pretend they never existed. But when heaven closes a case, it does not erase it. It redeems it. What the enemy meant to use as evidence against you is now being repurposed as fuel for your destiny. What was whispered in darkness is becoming a megaphone in the light. That is why you have felt turbulence lately, as if the ground beneath your life has been shifting without warning. This is not instability. It is rearrangement. Heaven's decree has gone forth, and everything around you is being forced to realign with the new order written in the Spirit. Archangel Michael is overseeing this rearrangement himself. It may feel chaotic, but it is precise. Things are falling apart only because something greater is falling into place. Even now, while you read this, unseen activity is happening on your behalf. Papers are moving across desks you have never seen. Names are being whispered in rooms you cannot enter. Decisions are being tilted quietly in your favor. You may have no idea who is advocating for you, but this is what it means when heaven says the case is closed. You are no longer required to defend yourself. The fight has already been won in the realm where outcomes are decided. This is why you feel that strange mix of peace and restlessness. Your spirit already knows you are free, but your mind is still adjusting to the new reality. That is why you were drawn here at this exact moment. These words are acting as a bridge, bringing your thoughts into agreement with what your spirit has already received. Let me speak plainly now. The truth they try to bury is rising, and it will not surface quietly. It will emerge in unexpected ways. Someone will slip and say what they were never meant to say. A document will appear when no one is looking for it. A private conversation will leak into the open. These are not accidents. They are fingerprints of God pulling truth into the light. Archangel Michael says, "You will not need to defend yourself. The truth itself will fight for you. And when it does, the tears you cried in silence will become the banner of your victory. What once marked your pain will now mark your triumph. But hear this warning with clarity and calm. The enemy will not retreat without resistance. He will send distractions disguised as opportunity. Sudden storms of doubt will try to shake your confidence. Old voices may resurface. People you thought were gone may reappear with gentle words or tempting offers. Recognize this for what it is. These are not blessings. They are traps meant to lure you back into fear and confusion. The case is already closed, but you can reopen old wounds by old choices. Stand firm. When peace leaves a situation, do not negotiate. Peace is the signature of heaven. Confusion is not. Let peace be your compass, because it will never lead you where God is not present. Now listen carefully to this hidden layer, because it reaches beyond you. When heaven closes a case, it does not only free one person. It sends ripples through an entire bloodline. The battles you endured were never just about you. They were about breaking cycles that lingered for generations. That is why the warfare felt heavier than seemed fair. You were carrying ancestral weight. But hear this clearly: you were chosen because you were strong enough to end it. The gavel did not fall only for you. It fell for your children and your children's children. Archangel Michael's sword burns so brightly because he has cut the cords that bound your family line. You are the first to walk free, but you will not be the last. Do not be surprised when blessing multiplies in your household. Do not question why doors begin to open not just for you, but for those connected to you. The case was generational, and so is the verdict. Freedom now runs through your blood like fire, and it will spill into the lives of those around you. Some will not understand why favor suddenly surrounds them. They may never realize it was your endurance that unlocked their miracle. But you will know. You will know it happened because you stayed when it would have been easier to leave, because you trusted when nothing made sense, because you refused to release heaven's hand even when the night was long. And now hear this revelation that may stretch you. The very people who accused you will become witnesses to your elevation. God will not hide what He has done for you. He will display it openly before those who tried to bury you. This is not cruelty. It is justice. They must see that heaven's verdict cannot be overturned. They must watch as the stone rolled over your future is pushed aside and you step out carrying light. Do not be bitter when this happens. Do not celebrate their fall. Stand with dignity. Let your life speak louder than any argument ever could. Because the case is closed, the truth is exposed, and your future is no longer negotiable. What began as accusation has ended as evidence. What was meant to silence you has become your testimony. And what heaven has declared over you will continue to unfold with precision, authority, and unstoppable grace. Stand tall now, smile with grace, and let your life speak where words never could. That is how false mouths are silenced, not by arguments, not by explanations, but by undeniable evidence of God's hand resting on you. When your spirit feels this word like fire in your chest, do not let it slip past you. Anchor yourself to this moment. Stay connected and subscribe, because these words are not scattered, they are aflow. Each one is a step in the journey heaven has written for you. Miss a step, and the picture feels incomplete. Stay, and you will move from revelation to revelation until clarity stands fully formed before you. Rest now, child, and release the need to control the outcome. Do not wrestle with the how or the when. Trust the who, the one who has already ruled in your favor. Your case is closed. Your freedom is sealed. Your future is secure. Walk forward in peace, because what is coming will not delay much longer. The truth is rising, and nothing can restrain it. Do not confuse the quiet of this hour with abandonment. Even in silence, heaven is loud with activity on your behalf. Archangel Michael stands at the threshold of your destiny, sword lifted, eyes aflame with truth, declaring again, the case is closed. This is not a suggestion. It is a decree etched into eternity. When heaven decrees, nothing on earth, beneath it, or beyond it can reverse it. Hear this sober truth with courage. The only one who can walk away from this freedom is you, by reopening doors heaven has sealed, by entertaining doubt, by stepping back into fear. That is why this message reached you now. The days ahead will test whether you believe what heaven has spoken. Hold fast. Consider the weight of what has already happened in the unseen. The accuser has lost his voice against you. He brought your failures, your weaknesses, your near surrenders, and your tears as evidence. But heaven looked upon the blood, upon the endurance of your heart, and declared, none of this condemns my child. That is why the enemy rages. He has been silenced. His only remaining power is the power you grant him by believing his lies. Resist him, and he will flee. Accept the verdict, and you will walk free. Let me reveal what many never see. The intensity of your battles was never proof of weakness, it was proof of value. You asked, why me, why always me? The answer is this: your mantle is heavier, your destiny wider, your inheritance richer. Great light draws great resistance. But hear this clearly: the case is closed. The attack is finished. The inheritance is being released. A shift has already taken place beneath your feet. Storms may still rumble, but their authority is broken. Archangel Michael says, watch closely in the next season. Knots that bound you for years will unravel. Do not despise small beginnings. One gentle pull can loosen what once seemed impossible. What required years will shift in weeks. Doors closed for decades will open with a single knock. Faces that turned away will look for you again. This will not be coincidence, it will be confirmation. Do not be startled if your blessing makes some uncomfortable. Not everyone is prepared to celebrate your freedom. Some benefited from your captivity and feel exposed by your rise. Release them. Bless them. Let them go. Your destiny does not require their approval. A closed case creates a closed circle. Only those chosen by heaven will walk with you into what is next. Do not mourn departures, every exit makes room for divine replacement. Your testimony will do more than vindicate you, it will ignite others. There are souls still drowning in despair, convinced their cases will never be heard. When they see what unfolds for you, faith will spark like flame catching wick. Your freedom is a beacon. That is why the enemy tried to silence you. He knew your rise would awaken others. He failed. Your light will travel farther than you imagine, touching lives you may never meet, reaching hearts across distance and time. Pause and imagine the peace of no longer carrying accusation. Picture waking without dread, moving without fear, speaking without self-defense. This is the inheritance of a closed case. This is the freedom heaven secured. Walk gently. Walk boldly. Let mercy crown your steps and truth guard your way. Stay attentive now, because alignment requires awareness. Choose peace over pressure. Choose clarity over confusion. Choose obedience over urgency. When something pulls you from peace, pause. Heaven's signature is calm authority, not frantic motion. Keep this word close. Return to it when noise rises. It will steady you. And remember this as you step forward. What they meant to end you has become the introduction to your defining chapter. The platform built to shame you will carry your testimony. The stone rolled to seal your future has been moved aside, and you are stepping out into light. The verdict stands. The path opens. The story continues with purpose, with protection, and with power already promised. The joy of standing unashamed is now your portion, and the strength to walk without chains is no longer a promise but a reality. This is not imagination. This is not emotional comfort. This is the truth being written over your life right now. Heaven is not debating. Heaven is not reconsidering. The decision has already been made. The case is closed. Your freedom is secure. What remains is your choice to step into it with courage instead of hesitation. Yet hear this warning with clarity, not fear. A closed case does not mean a silent enemy. He will still whisper lies. He will still replay old scenes, resurrecting guilt and shame, hoping you forget what heaven declared. When those voices rise, do not argue with them. Declare aloud, the case is closed. Speak it until peace returns. These words are not symbolic. They are your shield. They are your sword. They are the reminder that you no longer live under accusation. The days ahead will not be vague or confusing. Clear signs are coming. Expect 3 distinct confirmations. An unexpected kindness from a stranger. A dream that feels more real than waking life. And a number that repeats until you cannot dismiss it. These are not coincidences. They are markers. When you see them, smile. Remember this moment. Remember that heaven prepared you in advance. Remember that Archangel Michael warned you to watch. These signs are the seal of your freedom. If this word is washing over your spirit like waves, do not walk away unchanged. Stay anchored. Stay connected. Seal this alignment by subscribing, because what heaven is releasing now comes in sequence. One revelation unlocks the next. Miss one, and the following may feel unclear. This is not entertainment. This is alignment with destiny. Lift your head now and release the weight of shame. Dry your tears. Let your shoulders carry freedom, not fear. The judge who rules rightly has spoken, and his word is final. No earthly gavel can overturn heaven's decree. No whisper of the enemy can silence the voice of God. Your case is closed. Your destiny is secured. Your inheritance has been released. Rise and live as one redeemed. Beloved child, let me take you deeper into what has already happened in the unseen. When Archangel Michael stood before the throne and declared, "The case is closed," a ripple moved through eternity. That ripple shattered every record of accusation ever written against you. Scrolls of lies. False testimonies. Shadows of past mistakes. Each was reviewed and consumed by holy fire. What remains is not your shame, but your endurance. Do you see it now? The moments you thought were failures became evidence of faith. You fell, yet you rose. You doubted, yet you still whispered his name. You nearly let go, yet you held on. Heaven counts this as victory. Archangel Michael speaks with thunder. You were accused in the courts of men, but vindicated in the courts of God. You were mocked on earth, but applauded in heaven. You were pressed down, but never destroyed. And now the verdict is final. These are not motivational words. They are the structure of your new reality. You no longer walk under suspicion. You no longer bow beneath condemnation. Light now rests on your shoulders. Truth crowns your life. But understand why heaven is urgent with this message. The moment a verdict is declared, a door unlocks. That door leads to restoration, inheritance, promotion. Only those who step forward boldly can enter. Do not make the mistake of waiting passively. Too many hear such words and sit still, expecting blessings to chase them. In doing so, they delay what was meant to arrive swiftly. Do not fall into that trap. Step forward as one who knows the court is settled. Apply again. Speak again. Walk into rooms you once avoided. The places that rejected you will now become platforms of acceptance. Understand this as well. When heaven closes a case, time itself bends to serve the verdict. What once took years will compress into months, weeks, even days. Do not measure your future by the slow crawl of your past. The pace has changed. God is accelerating your story because what was delayed too long is now being restored with interest. The enemy will not only release what he stole. He will release more than he ever took. Heaven repays with multiplication. That is why sudden opportunities will appear without warning. Doors will open faster than you can prepare explanations. Favor will meet you before effort does. Stay alert and stay humble. Move with confidence, not arrogance. With obedience, not haste. Let peace lead you. Let truth anchor you. And when doubt tries to return, remember this above all else. The verdict has already been written. The case is closed. And the life ahead of you is no longer under question, it is under authority. Do not dismiss what is unfolding as coincidence, because coincidence has no authority and this moment carries heaven's signature. These are the natural signs of a supernatural verdict moving from the unseen into your everyday life, and you are meant to recognize them, not rush past them. When vindication arrives, understand this with a steady heart: not everyone will celebrate you. Some will watch quietly, unsettled by your rise, because your elevation exposes the places where they chose comfort over courage. Do not harden yourself. Do not gloat. Let your response be grace. Nothing disarms envy like kindness, and nothing dissolves jealousy like humility. Your blessing is not meant to make you proud, it is meant to make you grateful, and gratitude will make your light impossible to deny. Pause and breathe this truth in, because the case is not only closed, it is sealed. No one can reopen what heaven has finished, and even you cannot undo what God has decreed. What you can do is either slow its manifestation with doubt or accelerate it with belief. That is why Archangel Michael says, "Stand firm and guard your heart." You are being tempted with lesser things, so you will settle before the fullness arrives, but you were not born for crumbs. A table has already been prepared in the presence of those who doubted you, your nameplate already carved, your place already secured. All that remains is for you to take your seat without apology and without fear. Listen closely to this deeper mystery, because it explains why your battles felt so heavy. When heaven closed your case, it also shifted the balance of power in your family line. Generational debts were cancelled. Old cycles were broken. The struggles your parents carried will not follow you, and the fears that ruled your grandparents will not rule your children. You became the turning point, the line of separation where the pattern ends. That is why the pressure was intense and the warfare relentless. It was never only about you. But you endured, and by enduring you secured freedom for those who come after you. Can you sense the atmosphere changing even now, like the air itself is responding to warmth on your skin, the quiet stirring in your chest, the tears that rise without effort. These are not just emotions. They are confirmations. The Spirit is bearing witness that this word belongs to you, and the longer you stay present with it, the more it unlocks. Every sentence dissolves another doubt, and every paragraph strengthens your agreement with heaven's decree. Do not rush away as if this were a passing message. It is a living scroll being unrolled before you in real time. Archangel Michael says, "Watch the signs, child, because they will come quickly now." A number repeating until you finally notice. A dream that lingers as if you lived it. A stranger whose words land with unsettling accuracy. These are not random moments, they are signatures of heaven confirming the sealed verdict. When you see them, honor them. Write them down. Let them remind you that the case is closed and the outcome secure. Understand this as well, because it will protect your heart in the days ahead. The very stage that was built to shame you will become the platform of your testimony. Those who gathered to mock will be forced to watch as God writes glory where they wrote disgrace. They may try to explain it away, but deep inside they will know the truth. Walk with humility, but do not shrink. This is your season of unveiling, and you are allowed to stand confidently in what God has done. If your heart is burning as you read this, do not let the connection fade. Stay anchored and subscribe, not as a routine action, but as a decision to remain aligned with the flow of revelation unfolding in this season. These words are keys, and each one opens another door. Miss one, and the path may feel unclear. Stay connected, and the journey will reveal itself step by step. Stand tall now, beloved, because the court has adjourned and the record is clear. The chains are broken, the inheritance released, and your future already set in motion. The reason this word grips you so deeply is because it was written for you before time began, prepared for this exact hour when your spirit would be ready to receive it. You were drawn here on purpose, not by chance, because heaven knew what your soul needed to hear today. Your silence is over, and your voice is needed. For too long you believed your story was too broken to matter, but now your testimony carries power. When you speak, hearts will awaken. When you share, faith will rise. When you tell what God has done, chains will break for others who are still walking the path you survived. You are not just free for yourself, you are free to help others find freedom. Hear this final assurance and let it settle your spirit. Your season of delay has ended. What was held back is being released, what you thought was lost is being restored, and the pace has changed. Time itself bends to heaven's decree, and what once moved slowly will now accelerate. The case is closed, the gates are open, and the world is about to witness what heaven has always known. You are chosen, you are beloved, and you are free.